Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tribune Sports Live, brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration of Birmingham. I'm Zack Steele, along with Damian Mitchell. And Damian, we're here. The rematch is going to happen. We kind of thought it would, but boy, getting here, both teams very impressive.
Man, it's been a journey, hasn't it, man? We both said this beginning of the year. It's going to be Clay and Pinson in 6A in the semifinals, and we're getting exactly what we got, what we expected. And Clay-Chalkville, dominating effort against Oxford. Pinson dominating Homewood. The two tops of 6A, they're meeting again, and this time is for the state championship. Well, the winner goes to the state championship.
Well, it's a de facto state championship. Let's put it that way, because you and I both think these are the two best teams in 6A.
Without a doubt. And the worst thing about this really is that they're going to one of them's going to knock the other one out. You want to see the top two teams play in the state championship, but in this case, I honestly think that the winner of this Clay-Pinson matchup is going to be the state champion.
I mean, it's hard to get the top two teams when they're 5 miles apart, and play in the same region. So just a really interesting scenario, and really, an amazing time really for both schools. Pinson's in their prime right now. We've never seen Pinson be this good in high school football, and Clay, very recently, they have been one of the top teams in 6A for a while, and just on another collision course. Yeah, man, it's the same thing as last year. The thing I think this year is going to be different is the physicality and just the atmosphere, the energy. The Clay-Chalkville defense, they look good. They look good. Pinson Valley defense looks good. Clay-Chalkville offense looks good. Pinson Valley offense looks good. What is it going to be, that edge to put one team over? And you just never know what's going to happen. And we'll talk about it a little bit later, but the recap from the Clay-Oxford matchup, I mean, it's just you knew Clay was going to send a message, but we didn't think it was going to be something like that. Absolutely. Speaking of, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to get into that Clay-Oxford game. We'll be back in just a moment.
Trustful Vision Care is now proud to offer sports vision training for athletes. This sports-specific training improves hand-eye coordination and reaction time. As a former college athlete, Dr. Steele knows how important perfect vision is to succeed on the athletic field. For athletes, 20/20 vision is not enough. Trustful Vision Care.
Paul Davis Emergency Services of Northeast Birmingham helps by providing needed cleanup and restoration services. Through the appropriate tools and processes, we avoid wasting valuable time to get your property to its previous state as quickly as we possibly can.
All right, welcome back. And Damian, Clay-Chalkville coming into this game, we thought this was going to be a bit of a challenge for them coming in. Oxford's a good football team, and we talked about this a little at the break. The last 2 weeks, Clay's beaten two very good football teams.
Yeah, and it's not just like they beat them, they've completely dominated. Hartsville came in round 2 and was undefeated. And we both said they hadn't ran into the athletes that Clay-Chalkville had, and they really hadn't seen anybody like that, and they completely dominated. And the Oxford matchup, you could tell that Clay, there was a whole different team. Like they were set to make a point that we're here, we're Clay-Chalkville, we're not Pinson Valley. Like we're tired of hearing that comparison.
Yeah.
We are Clay-Chalkville, we're going to beat you, and they did it convincingly. The opening kickoff. I mean, Leroy King went down there on the opening kickoff and absolutely, almost knocked the guy's helmet off. And that set the tone for the rest of the way, and they completely dominated.
So Clay-Chalkville, the last 4 or 5 years, they've been the top program in 6A. And now, the last couple of years, you've seen Pinson come in. Clay's playing in the playoffs with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. They're like, hey, everybody, remember, we've been the dominant team for a while now. They've got a chip on their shoulder going into this
Without
game.
a doubt. And I think that comes along with the Bo Nix effect over there at Pinson Valley. You take an athlete like that and put him in a situation where he has all those athletes around him, and everybody, he's getting all the look, he's getting all the glory, he's getting all the praise. But Clay-Chalkville was like, hey, man, we were here first. Yeah. And this is going to be an exciting game when they match up. Willie Miller, I mean, you can't say he's done anything wrong. You can't say he's done anything just spectacular, but he's winning football games. He puts you in the position to where it's like, okay, we have a chance.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix, he's a 5-star athlete. Everybody's praising him, but Willie Miller right down the road, he's doing the exact same thing. He's just not doing it in the exact same level. He may not have the 400 yards passing. He'll have 400 yards total offense because he's doing it with his legs and through the air.
Absolutely. He's such a threat to run the football. You have to respect that, and it just makes every aspect of that offense so much better. But how about that Clay defense?
Oh, man, they keep everybody on the ropes. You know that Oxford came in, they're very, very run-heavy, just like Hartselle was in round 2. You think they're very run-heavy, and it showed that Clay-Chalkville, you're not going to run on us.
Absolutely.
Like, you better find another way to make a play. And nobody has up until this point. They have completely suffocated teams. They put strangleholds on offenses, and they're putting offensive coordinators in binds where it's like, okay, well, if that's not working, what can we do?
Well, they're making teams one-dimensional now. I think and we'll get into this a little bit later. They're going to have a little bit more of a challenge, obviously, with Bo Nix, who can really throw the football. So it's going to be really interesting to see, and we're going to talk a lot more about it. But when we come back, we're going to talk about Pinson and their easy victory over Homewood.
Have you been to Discount Warehouse lately? New electronics, brand name makeup, and bedding arrive daily. Follow their Facebook page to find out about special sales on clothing, tools, and fireworks. Discount Warehouse, where you will never pay retail price.
Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home and Gardens is home-owned and operated by the Steele family. I've known Eddie Steele and his son Adam for over 25 years. They're community-oriented and, more importantly, good folks who know how to take care of people in their time of need. That's how Jefferson Memorial became Trustful's funeral home and cemetery. Jefferson Memorial is located at 1591 Gadsden Highway. You can call them at 322-0543. Before your need arises, let Jefferson Memorial family take care of your family.
Number 10, Bo Nix. Number 11, Kendall Thornton. Number 27, Joel Parker.
I know of.
Captain tonight for the Homewood Patriots, number 4, Wesley Williams. Number 10, Larkin Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Pinson Valley Indians.
All right, welcome back. And Damian, Pinson did about what we expected in their ball game against Homewood. They had the superior athletes on this team. They had players who could make the plays. They go up and get out in front quickly and put Homewood away early.
Yeah, man, what a difference a week makes. Because we talked about the battles that Muscle Shoals gave them, and then Homewood was just nothing like it was round 2. Pinson Valley did what they usually do, dominate on all facets of the game. The defense lights out. Offense, Bo Nix, he's the engine. The thing is, we're coming up with Clay-Chalkville, like you said, making somebody one-dimensional. If you make Bo Nix one-dimensional, he can beat you in that one dimension.
Yep.
So I think that it's going to be an interesting time. And the way they dominated Homewood, you kind of expected it. The athletes all over the place. I mean, there wasn't really anything that was going to stop them except for Pinson Valley, and they deserve to be in this position, and you see what's going to happen.
Well, I think that game against Muscle Shoals was a nice wake-up call for Pinson. They were kind of coasting. They were kind of cruising. We're going to get to this game, and we're going to concentrate on Clay-Chalkville and get there, and that's all we're going to worry about. You can't do that in the playoffs, and it almost cost them against Muscle Shoals. They were definitely aware and took care of business against Homewood. Very impressed with that Pinson defense as well. They don't get as much press as the offense, but that is a very strong unit.
Yeah, man, and they've dominated each and every week. And it's not like, I mean, it's kind of tough when you have the athlete and the caliber of athlete that Bo Nix is at quarterback. So, of course, he's going to get all of the hype and everything, but the defense wins championships. So, you can put up all these numbers, but if you're also giving up those same amount of numbers, it's kind of tough. But in Pinson Valley's defense, they're dominating. Like, they look good, and they're getting after it. And that's what I think this week is going to be the telltale of which defense is better. We can say that Clay's defense has always been, they've been dominant up until this point. Pinson Valley's defense has been dominant until this point. So something's going to have to give. So somebody has to win and somebody has to lose.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we're going to break this game down a little bit more, and we're going to try to come up with a prediction for you. I can tell you that both of us are struggling with it. We'll be back in just a moment.
For every step of the home buying process, turn to Laura Cardwell Dennis with Keller Williams Trustful and Tanya Golden with First Bank Mortgage, located in the new Keller Williams office in downtown Trustful. They work together to ensure a pleasant home buying experience because their special interest is you. Kemp's Kitchen, located in the Trustful Shopping Center near the 459 Highway 11 interchange. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the whole family. And watch for our specials on 50-cent wings.
I'm Drew Lawley, General Manager at Courtesy Buick GMC. Come see us at Courtesy, where we have over 300 vehicles to choose from, including GMCs, Buicks, and certified pre-owned vehicles. Come see us at Courtesy or check us out at courtesybirmingham.com. Proud supporter of our area high school teams.
All right, welcome back. And Damian, let's talk for just a minute about who has advantages where in this ball game. All right, so let's start the Clay offense versus the Pinson defense. Who has the advantage there?
I'm going to give the advantage to the Clay offense just because Pinson Valley may have stopped down certain playmakers at different teams, different opponents that they face, whereas Clay-Chalkville, you never know who's going to have the hot hand. Willie Miller can get it done passing and also running. DeMarcus Burris out of the backfield, Courtney Braxton, a mean 1-2 punch. They can do it receiving and rushing. And the guys that, you hear, Logan Pruitt had over 100 yards receiving last week. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting him to do some things. But you can't fault the Pinson Valley secondary. I mean, there's some good guys. If they're tall, lanky defensive backs, they're rangy. And on defensive front, Joel Parker, he's going to be a key factor, and it's going to be tough for Clay-Chalkville to get rolling. But I do think that Willie Miller at quarterback, he's going to make plays. He's going to make plays. There's no way around it. But is it going to be enough to take them over the hump and lead them to a state championship?
Absolutely. And I think the key for Pinson's defense in this game is going to be keeping Willie Miller in the pocket. So they're going to have to keep their lane assignments when they pass rush. They're going to have to make him uncomfortable, but they don't want him getting outside the pocket and scrambling for 40 yards, which he can do very easily. So what you want to do is keep him in that pocket and keep him uncomfortable, maybe force him into a couple of throws he doesn't want to make. Right. And I think that's the key for them. If Willie Miller's outside the pocket and outside the tackle box and break and contain on every pass play, that's trouble for Pinson. I mean, I think Pinson would almost rather have him throwing the football versus running the football. And I think that was kind of the game plan the last time these two played. So I think that's the key for them is keeping everything in front of you and keeping him in the pocket, and they've got a good chance. All right, so let's talk a little bit about when Pinson's offense is on the field. How does Clay manage that?
Clay is going to have to get pressure on the defensive line. DJ Dale is going to have to man up. He's going to have to anchor the defensive line and say, you know what? Bo Nix may have all this praise. He may be the 5-star dual threat guy, but he's going to have to beat us with his mind, and he's going to have to make he's not going to be able to run and pass every play. He's going to have to make a smart decision. And I think on the secondary end, disguise the coverage. Mix them up. In the middle of Bo's cadence, switch something up. Roll your safeties down. They're going to have playmakers. Bo Nix, I mean, most of his, if you look at him, if you really see that most of his plays are made just off timing. He takes a step back. He knows where his receiver is going to be. It's just like clockwork. What you have to do is disrupt his focus a little bit. Give him some packages that he may have seen early in the season when they first matched up that he may not, that he's not going to see come Friday night. Bo, he's make Bo one-dimensional. But you have to contain him once you do make him one-dimensional.
Absolutely. So
because if he does break down and run the ball, you got to make a play.
Yeah. So I think that Clay's defense has to do something very similar. Make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Now, it's hard to make that guy uncomfortable in the pocket, and you almost want him tucking the ball and running it some, and keeping him limiting him to 10, 12-yard gains when you do it. I like what you said about disguising some things in the backfield, and I also like the idea of Clay doing a little bump and run and really jamming receivers at the line of scrimmage, getting them off timing a little bit. And I think that's important for this Clay defense. It's going to be one heck of a matchup, I know that.
Without a doubt. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, so you're going to make a prediction?
I'm going to hold off till Friday night.
Okay, I'm with you because we don't know. This one is a tough one. This game's a toss-up. These are two teams that have just had fantastic seasons, and we're so excited to actually get to see this thing Friday night. So that's our show for this week. We'll be back with a recap of this one, and we're going to be previewing a state championship with one of these teams and somebody. So for Damian Mitchell, I'm Zack Steele. So long, everybody.